It's time for Mike Zeroh Lie of the week. Okay. Which is not a weekly thing, but it's like when it's deserved, it pops up.
When it's appropriate.
And so I'm gonna lead you through a little thing here.
Okay. Show me the logic.
Yeah.
The tortured, flawed logic.
We're starting with the fact that Indy 5 has bombed at the box office, and in a similar way that The Flash did. However, I enjoyed Indy 5 a lot more.
Yeah.
It was not a terrible movie, but it was not.
It wasn't great, but at least it wasn't aggressively mediocre.
Yeah, it was fine, and it's maybe if I'd be more upset about it if I had really cared about Indiana Jones as a character. But I think that maybe I'm just like a little too young to. I don't know. Star Wars came out in 1977, and I fucking love that. But like I enjoyed it, but. There are probably a lot of reasons. I think it barely cleared its $60 million opening weekend, which is bad. Like that's really bad. Like it's probably not going to break even. There's a lot going into this, and for the folks out there saying, it was badly made or blah 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 blah. You don't understand the climate of theater going experiences. We have not bounced back from pre-COVID theater box office numbers, with a couple of rare exceptions. I think Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse did well despite the climate. And get this. So The Flash was tracked. They were guessing it was going to make 70 million, right? Mm-hmm. Like the box office predictions.
This was before it came out.
Yeah, before it came out. They do like a little prediction. They're like, that we track this to make between blah 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 blah. And I think Indy 5 was about the same, right?
Okay.
Oppenheimer, which we'll see in a couple of weeks, is tracking even a little bit lower, despite the fact that people are kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
Like between, I think 40 and 60 million.
Okay.
Guess how much the Barbie movie is tracking at?
100?
80 to 100 million. Apparently people are crazy about the Barbie movie. So anyway, like
Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
I know, right? But this is the thing, like there's a lot of shit going into why some of these movies just aren't, even The Flash, I think in pre-COVID movie going culture would have made a lot more than it did, right? So this of course has given way to another round of Kathleen Kennedy is getting fired because she was the producer for Indy 5, right? And our Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week award, by the way, goes to Tyrone Magnus, which is a YouTube channel that reacts mostly to other people's YouTube videos, but likes his big clip. And this is the thing, I didn't watch the video, and I'm not going to, because if you're going to be dishonest with the title and you're going to do a clickbait thing, you're going to win the award just based on. It doesn't you could have not told a single lie in the video, but having that asinine fucking clickbait title, that'll get you the Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week award, which is that Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired again, which she is.
Like, how many times have we done this song and dance?
Right. Yeah. It happens every couple of weeks. And like, this is the first, I think this is the first film she's produced since Solo: A Star Wars Story. Okay. So, I'm gonna walk you through a couple of facts. Okay. These are facts. Like, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to people anymore. I totally get that. But, so Force Awakens, cost $447 million to make, adjusted for inflation. Guess how much money it made without looking at my thing. You saw it, so go ahead and say it.
$2 billion.
Yeah, $2 billion. That is an insane profit.
That's a shit ton of money.
Last Jedi, $300 million, made $1 billion. And so Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker didn't make as much because Force Awakens was the first Star Wars movie since 2005.
Of course, yeah.
And everyone was super crazy about it, right? Rise of Skywalker, $400 million budget, made $1 billion. Solo: A Star Wars Story, $275 million budget, made almost $400 million, right? Okay. The only thing Kathleen Kennedy needs to do to keep her job, the only thing that industry cares about, is whether or not in the long run she's made them money. They don't care. She could she could murder a child, which I'm sure some of you think she has.
She could have lesbian sex with Brie Larson on live TV.
Mike Zeroh, just fucking at home jerking it to that idea. And so you do have to kind of figure in the streaming stuff too. The streaming stuff is harder though, because they don't measure stuff by the same metrics.
Yeah.
Because they don't like money doesn't go into their hand from someone seeing something in the movie, right? It's more about subscriber surges during the month that show is around, and the fact that like every streaming platform, the way they work is by being in debt, and I don't understand how it works. I don't understand the economics of it. I just know that it's normal. Like Netflix is billions of dollars in debt, but like doing like well, I guess.
Finance.
Yeah. And they sink tons of money into content, and they go into debt, but then like they get tons of subscribers and shit. So like, it's really hard to tell with the Disney Plus stuff, whether or not, cause she's I think a producer on most everything coming out of Star Wars. And it like Mandalorian, for example, probably lost them a little bit of money, but drove all of their subscribers for Disney Plus. So what I'm saying is that like on the streaming stuff, you can't be like, oh, it had an X budget and returned Y box office things.
This is one of the root causes of the writer's strike, by the way.
Yeah. The whole streaming thing.
Yeah. That writers haven't been getting residuals for streaming, and residuals are a big part of how writers make money.
Yeah. So the thing about Kathleen Kennedy getting fired, she's not. And the thing that I've said this a whole bunch, but the thing that I'm really worried about is that she's eventually going to retire. Mm-hmm. And then that's when they're going to be like, we were right.
She was fired.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lies. She didn't retire. She was fucking fired.
Yeah.
Her head is on a pike outside of Disney headquarters.
Now, this is the cool thing about figuring out what is true and what is not. And the fact that when you can make novel, testable predictions, you're doing it right. So when this happens, and they're like, "Oh, she was secretly ousted," we will show this clip, which was months to years earlier, predicting this specific outcome, and then you will know that everyone that made that claim was full of shit. Because otherwise, how would we be able to make that prediction, right? So good job, Tyrone Magnus, on being a part of the problem. And
congratulations on winning Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week. Yep. Your trophy is in the mail, allegedly.
Yes.